Listen, I'm about to tell you something that's going to make you angry, but somebody needs to say it. 78% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. That's not a statistic about poor people. That's a statistic about you. And before you click away because you think this doesn't apply to you, let me ask you something. How many days could you survive if your paycheck stopped coming tomorrow? If the answer is less than 90 days, congratulations, you're broke. You're just broke with a fancy title and a direct deposit. I'm Kevin O'Leary, and I've spent 40 years building wealth, investing in businesses, and watching people make the same stupid financial mistakes over and over again. I've made millions by understanding one fundamental truth. Broke people and rich people make completely different decisions with their money. And today, I'm going to show you the 5 money traps that are keeping you stuck in the paycheck to paycheck cycle like a financial hamster wheel. But first, I need you to do something for me right now. If you're serious about breaking this cycle, if you're tired of lying awake at 3 in the morning worried about money, if you want to actually build wealth instead of just talking about it, hit that subscribe button. Join this community of people who understand that financial education isn't optional. It's survival. We're building something here, and I want you to be part of it. Now, let me start with the first trap that's destroying your financial future. Student loans. Oh, this one's going to hurt, but I don't care about your feelings. I care about your bank account. Student loan debt in America has exploded to over $1.7 trillion. That's trillion with a T, and most of you are drowning in it. Here's the brutal truth. Your college degree was probably a terrible investment. You borrowed $50, $60, $100,000 to get a piece of paper that might help you get a job paying $40,000 a year. Do the math. If you're paying 6% interest on $70,000 in loans, you're paying over $4,000 a year just in interest. That's more than 10% of your gross income before you even start living. But here's what really kills me. Most of you are making minimum payments. You think you're being smart by paying the bare minimum while you get your life together. Wrong. You're being an idiot. Every month you make a minimum payment, you're paying mostly interest. The principal barely moves. You could pay for 30 years and still owe $60,000. I've seen people in their 40s still paying off undergraduate loans while trying to save for their kids' college. That's not a financial strategy. That's financial suicide. And don't even get me started on the people who went back for graduate degrees while already drowning in undergraduate debt. You took on more debt to solve a debt problem. That's like drinking more alcohol to cure a hangover. Now I can already hear the excuses. But Kevin, I needed a degree to get a good job. I had to take out loans. What choice did I have? Here's your choice. You could have gone to community college for 2 years, then transferred to a state school. You could have worked while in school. You could have chosen a degree that actually pays well instead of studying something useless like art history or gender studies. But you didn't. You wanted the full college experience. You wanted to live on campus. You wanted to go to your dream school regardless of cost. You prioritized 4 years of fun over 40 years of financial freedom, and now you're paying the price. Here's what you need to do right now. Stop making minimum payments. Attack that debt like your life depends on it, because it does. Cut every unnecessary expense. Get a second job. Sell stuff you don't need. Move in with roommates. Do whatever it takes to throw every extra dollar at that principal balance. And if you're thinking about going back to school for another degree, stop. Unless you're becoming a doctor or a lawyer at a top-tier school, more education is probably not going to solve your money problems. It's going to make them worse. The second trap that's keeping you broke is something that sounds responsible, but is actually destroying your wealth. Credit cards. And I'm not just talking about maxing them out and paying minimum balances, although that's financial murder. I'm talking about the entire credit card mentality that's infected American culture. The average American has over $6,000 in credit card debt. 6,000, and they're paying 18 to 25% interest on it. Let me put that in perspective. If the stock market averages 10% returns over time, and you're paying 20% on credit card debt, you're losing money at a rate of 10% per year. You're moving backwards faster than you can run forward. But here's the real trap. Credit cards make you think you have more money than you do. That little plastic rectangle disconnects spending from pain. When you hand over cash, your brain registers loss. When you swipe a card, Your brain thinks you're getting stuff for free. It's a psychological trick that the credit card companies have perfected, and you fall for it every single time. I see people earning 60,000 a year living like they make 100,000 because credit cards let them. They lease expensive cars, eat at restaurants every night, buy clothes they don't need, take vacations they can't afford, and they justify it by saying, "I'll pay it off next month." But next month never comes because next month they do the same thing again. Here's what's really insidious. The credit card companies don't want you to pay off your balance. They make their money from people who carry balances and pay interest. They've designed the entire system to keep you in debt. The minimum payment is calculated to maximize their profits, not to help you get out of debt. And don't tell me about rewards programs. But Kevin, I get cash back. You're getting played. For every dollar in rewards you earn, you're spending $20 you wouldn't have spent otherwise. Credit card companies aren't giving away free money. They're manipulating you. Pull out your statements from the last 3 months. Add up everything you spent. Would you have spent this much paying cash? If not, you've been trapped. Here's my solution. Cut up your credit cards. Yes, all of them. I don't care about your credit score. I don't care about emergencies. I don't care about convenience. Credit cards are making you broke, and broke people don't need good credit scores. They need good bank account balances. Pay cash for everything. If you can't afford to pay cash, you can't afford it, period. This will force you to live within your means instead of living within your credit limits. And your credit limits are not your financial limits. They're the maximum amount of debt the bank thinks they can extract from you before you go bankrupt. Moving on to the third trap, and this one is everywhere in American culture: the subscription economy. Netflix, Spotify, gym memberships, Amazon Prime, meal kits, beauty boxes, software subscriptions, app subscriptions. You're being nickel and dimed to death, $10 at a time. The average American has over 11 active subscriptions costing more than $200 per month. That's $2,400 a year for stuff you probably don't even use half the time. And most people have no idea how much they're spending because it's automatic. It just comes out of your account every month like a financial vampire, slowly draining your blood. And here's what companies know: you'll pay way more if they break it into small monthly payments. You wouldn't pay $300 up front for Netflix yearly, but 15 monthly feels smaller. Except that's still $180. I've audited bank statements where people spent more on subscriptions than groceries, more on entertainment than retirement savings. They're choosing instant gratification over their financial future. And the companies know exactly what they're doing. They make it easy to sign up and hard to cancel. They offer free trials that automatically convert to paid subscriptions. They increase prices gradually, hoping you won't notice. They count on your laziness and inattention to keep paying for things you don't want. Here's what I want you to do tonight. Log into every bank account and credit card account you have. Look at every recurring charge from the last 6 months. Write them all down. Add them up. I guarantee you'll find at least 5 subscriptions you forgot about, and at least 3 you're not getting value from. Cancel them. Today. Not tomorrow. Today. And before you sign up for any new subscription, ask yourself this question: would I rather have this service, or would I rather have the money invested in index funds earning compound interest for the next 20 years? Because that's the real choice you're making. But wait, we're just getting warmed up. The fourth money trap is probably the most dangerous one, and it's hiding in plain sight. Social media lifestyle inflation. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, they've created a culture where everyone is performing wealth instead of building wealth. You see your friends posting pictures of expensive dinners, luxury vacations, designer clothes, new cars, and your brain starts making comparisons. If they can afford it, why can't I? So you start spending money you don't have to maintain an image that isn't real, for people who probably don't care, funded by credit cards that are destroying your future. This is the most expensive hobby in history. You're paying money to pretend you have money you don't have. You're going into debt to look wealthy while becoming poorer. Half the people you're trying to keep up with are broke too. They're maxing out credit cards to fund their social media presence. It's broke people impressing other broke people by pretending to be rich. I see 25-year-olds with zero savings spending $200 on brunch because it looks good on Instagram. I see people taking vacations they can't afford because everyone else seems to be traveling. I see people buying designer handbags while living paycheck to paycheck because image matters more than net worth. Let me tell you what real wealth looks like. Real wealth is quiet. Real wealth doesn't need to perform. Real wealth is a fat investment account, not a fancy Instagram feed. Warren Buffett drives a modest car and lives in the same house he bought decades ago, but he's worth over $100 billion. That's the difference between looking rich and being rich. Stop performing wealth and start building it. Stop trying to impress strangers on the internet and start impressing your future self with smart financial decisions. Stop measuring success by what you can post and start measuring it by what you can invest. Which brings me to the fifth and final trap, and this might be the most important one, the "I'll start tomorrow" mentality. The belief that there's some perfect moment in the future when you'll finally get serious about money, when you'll start budgeting, when you'll start investing, when you'll stop wasting money on stupid stuff. Tomorrow never comes. There's always another excuse. After I pay off my credit cards, after I get a raise, after I move, after the holidays, after I figure out my career. You keep moving the goalposts, and meanwhile, time is passing. Compound interest is passing you by. Opportunities are passing you by. I've met 50-year-olds who have been planning to start investing soon for 20 years. They're still broke. They wasted 2 decades of compound growth because they were waiting for perfect conditions that never arrived. Here's the truth about compound interest. It's about time. Start investing $1,000 yearly at 25, you'll have over $400,000 by retirement. Wait until 35, you need almost $2,000 yearly for the same goal. Wait until 45, you need over $4,000 yearly. Time is the most powerful wealth-building tool you have, and you're wasting it. Every day you delay is a day of compound growth you'll never get back. Every month you spend on subscriptions instead of investments is a month that money can't start working for you. Stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for perfect conditions. Stop waiting for more money. Start now with whatever you have. Even $50 a month invested consistently will compound into real money over time, but $0 invested for 20 years will always be $0. Here's what I want you to do right now. Today, not tomorrow, not next week, not after you get your finances organized. Today, open a brokerage account. Many of them have no minimum balance requirements. Invest something, anything, even if it's just $25. Break the inertia. Prove to yourself that you can do it. Then automate it. Set up automatic transfers from your checking account to your investment account. Pay yourself first before you pay for subscriptions, before you pay for entertainment, before you pay for anything that isn't essential. Make investing as automatic as your Netflix subscription. Now, let me bring this all together for you. You're broke not because you don't make enough money. You're broke because you're trapped in these 5 systems designed to extract money from your wallet. Student loans that never go away, credit cards that encourage spending you can't afford, subscriptions that drain money automatically, social media pressure that makes you perform wealth instead of building it, and the procrastination that steals your most valuable asset, time. But here's the good news. You can escape every one of these traps. It requires discipline. It requires making hard choices. It requires saying no to things your friends are doing. It requires living below your means instead of above them. It requires thinking long-term instead of seeking instant gratification. Most people aren't willing to make these sacrifices. They'd rather stay comfortable in their financial mediocrity than do the hard work of building wealth. And that's fine for them, but not for you. Because if you're watching this video, you're different. You're ready to take control. Stop making excuses. Stop blaming the economy, your boss, your circumstances. Take responsibility for your financial life. Cut up the credit cards. Cancel the subscriptions. Attack the debt. Ignore social media pressure. Start investing immediately. Your future self is depending on the decisions you make today. Don't let them down. If this video opened your eyes, if you're finally ready to stop living paycheck to paycheck and start building real wealth, I need you to take action right now. Smash that like button and tell the algorithm that this content matters. Drop a comment below and tell me which of these 5 traps has been costing you the most money. Be honest. We're all learning here. And if you're serious about changing your financial life, subscribe to this channel and become a member. We're building a community of people who understand that wealth isn't about luck or inheritance or getting discovered on TikTok. Wealth is about making smart decisions consistently over time. Remember, broke is a temporary condition, poor is a mindset. Don't let temporary broke become permanent poor. You have the power to change your financial future, but only if you start today. Now get out there and break these traps. Your wealthy future self is waiting.